Alright, today I'm just gonna talk about my experience with Fire Emblem Heroes since the beginning of its release. So, this was about a year or two since I got a phone. Like, when I was a teenager, I had a phone for a bit and then I just stopped having it. Probably because I was in a school with like only 20 people and I didn't really talk to any of them over the phone or through texting. So basically, I got addicted to gacha games right away on my phone, and I tried a bunch of them. And I tried like Final Fantasy Brave Exvius and Tales of Link, and then Fire Emblem Heroes. Those were the main three. And I didn't play Brave Exvius that much, but I kind of always wanted to go back and play it, but uh, my phone didn't have enough data, so I basically just had to choose two, and I chose Tales of Link and Fire Emblem Heroes. Tales of Link was like the main one that I played. I only took a break for it for a bit when I was playing Fire Emblem Heroes for the first time. And when I came back, the game was dying. And they're basically just giving characters away for free, so I managed to get pictures of my main party and all the units that you could get in that game. And that was a really good game, in my opinion. Like, the Tales series lent itself to being good for a gacha game because there were enough characters that you could like introduce new ones and also have seasonals every month or so, because there wasn't too many characters where seasonals got in the way of introducing new characters like Fire Emblem Heroes. Like, sometimes seasonals are just really annoying and you want your favorite characters to be added into the game. And anyway, so when Tales of Link died, I pretty much since then I've only played Fire Emblem Heroes, and so I got really into it, and I even posted on the Reddit, and I got the actual post here to tell you what I said, but basically everything that I wrote in this, the game added. So, like, my main problems were basically that stamina. Back then, I think there was 50 stamina. That was crazy. I think they probably did update it to 100, but I wanted there to be more ways to play without stamina. And they added that in. And then even like summons, I was like, it's crazy that you can't like get anything unless you have hero orbs. And they added in free summons for every new banner. You get one free summon. And then they added in heroic grails as well, which was another thing I sort of hinted at. They added in, they made Arena better. They made Aether Raids. That was another one of my complaints, which was kind of a silly complaint. Arena's fine, but I also said that we needed like smaller events, and I even said even an event where you just like click on the game would be nice, and they added in tap battle, and I ended it saying all we need is more gameplay. And they certainly, like, everything I said in it, they added into the game in some form or another. And basically, that's part of why I love the game so much, because I feel like they actually listen to me. And so, like, I love Fire Emblem Heroes, and unfortunately, my first file, I didn't keep playing it. One of the things with Fire Emblem Heroes I found as I kept playing it was that you need to have some sort of plan when you're going into it, because there's a lot of things like skill inherit, sort of specifically, where if you do it wrong, you will regret it for the rest of your thing. And like, even this new file, which I'll get to later, I basically restarted 3 times in the last year. And this last file, what happened was I took Roy for Gale Force, and it turned out to not work for me. And I wish I had taken another Aether unit, because I restarted this on the Brave thing, and I got Brave Lucina. And so I was like, okay, I got Aether, I'm gonna take Gale Force, but I wish I took Aether instead. But, I mean, it actually worked out. I don't really want Aether anymore, but yeah, so Fire Emblem Heroes is one of those games where you're gonna regret if you do something, and even something like summoning on a banner that you end up not using the character from is something that you regret, because I think you get about, like, I don't know, maybe every event you get like every month you get like 100 orbs or something. But if you start the game over, you can get 1,000 and something. So I found myself restarting over and over. But I also kind of regret not just staying on my first file. But like, there is an issue with the space you have as well. And so I just find it more fun on replays. So I'm one of those guys. So I like started over a bunch of times, and like each time I had some sort of a goal in mind. Like the last time I wanted to get Halloween Mir to like to the most defense that she could possibly get, which I found out is, I did the calculations last night, it's 122 defense with just 3 other units supporting you, which is ridiculous, and it was like a fun goal to have in mind. But I realized that if I like don't get plus 10 on a unit, they're like, you might as well just not even try, because that's like, what, I'm gonna get up to like 118 defense. Like, it's not the same as 122. I mean, it kind of is, but for argument's sake, let's say that I wanted it to be perfect. So I've started over the game so many times, I'm pretty much an expert at it. And I made a guide that I even missed some things that I've learned since then. So I'm gonna tell you a guide on how to play Fire Emblem Heroes on a new account right away, and I'll tell you the results it got me in afterwards. So the first thing you do when you start, if you really want to, you can re-roll for a unit that you might like on a banner, but even that, to an extent, is wasting orbs. This new file I actually got Brave Hector, Brave Ephraim, and I haven't really used them that much. Like, the characters that the game gives you at the beginning from Choose Your Legends, the free ones, you can go through the entire game with those characters if you really want to. Brave Hector did make it easier to do some of the later ones, but like even then, I had to like put reposition on air to do some of the story maps, because some of the story maps on Lunatic are way too difficult. So like, I think maybe it is worth like doing a few circles to get a decent amount of like, maybe get a burst to get reposition and stuff like that. Like, get lucky on a few rounds of circle. So I think that is worth it to reroll for a unit that can help you out. But after that, how you train is not like, don't use training tower at all. What you do is you go into a Grand Hero battle versus a level 30 thing, or if legendary banner is up, you can use the level 10 easy battle mode, and you just play that over and over, because one of the things that they added is that even if you lose, you still keep all the experience you get. So what you do is you just have somebody attack one of the weaker units in the Grand Hero battles or legendary hero battles, and do that over and over, and that's how you get them to level 40. And especially if you're doing that in a like double SP weekend or whatever, like you should be fine on SP, unless you're a healer. Healers need way too much SP for how much they get. So so that's how you save stamina, to use stamina on story battles instead. And of course you use the story battles to level up as well your main characters, but if you get any like new one that you want to use, you use Grand Hero battles and Legendary Hero battles and Mythic Hero battles. So once you got your unit trained, you obviously do all the like quests and whatever that you want to do, and focus, if there's a Tempest trial going on, focus on doing the Tempest trial over everything else, I think. And just like do events as they come up and log in daily. And by this point, you should have like, I think in a week I had 700 orbs, and you of course link your account and get all the stamina potions from that, and you get the 10 bonus orbs, which helps a lot, and you can get the 10 bonus 2k feathers. So you can start working on a unit to plus 10 that's 4-star. And you can do that either, what you want to do with heroic grails is you want to decide whether you want to plus 10 one of the heroic grail units, or if you want to plus 10 just like a random 4-star and use heroic grails for fodder, which I'd actually suggest that, because a lot of the units in grails, it'll take a lot of grails to get them to plus 10, and who knows if they're gonna get another Grand Hero battle or whatever. And the Tempest Trial units, you'll never get the free ones. So if you do that, you'd want to use one of the newer Grail units that came out. And if you don't do that, then you want to use a random 4-star unit. And I think random 4-star units are actually better than the Grail units. Like, everyone's good at plus 10, but some of the better 4-star units are better than Grail units, I think. Depending on what you want from them. Like, a Versa is a very, very valuable unit. So, it might be worth giving her pluses, but it'll take a while to get her to 10, basically what I'm saying. So, once you get 700 orbs, and a banner comes up that you really want the character of, probably one of the newer ones, because power creep is very real and every single banner has a new, better unit. So what you do is you pick one of those banners that comes out as you're playing. You can keep going to get thousands of orbs, over 1,000 orbs. And then you summon all of your orbs on one color, because having one plus 10 unit is far more valuable than having a lot of 5-star units. So, honestly, what you should do is choose a banner and a color where there's not like 2 units on that focus. But what I did in my this last file that I made, my newest file, is I summoned on the Fallen Tiki, Fallen Corn color, and somehow, miraculously, like, this was really stupid of me to do, but I managed to now have a +8 Fallen Tiki and a +5 Fallen Corn, and I've summoned 15, like, I've gotten 15 5-stars from the banner. So basically what I did was I've summoned, because it's just if you just take the 3%, it's like a coin flip whether you get a focus unit or an off focus unit. And I've gotten 15 heads in a row with a coin flip, which is amazing. And if I can keep this up and actually get a +10 Fallen Tiki by the end of this, then I'm definitely gonna just, like, I don't know, like, brag on the Reddit about it, I guess. But yeah, so don't do what I did, because when I was doing it, I was thinking, there's no way I'm gonna get a +10 any unit if I do this. Like, my goal is to get a +10 unit, but I've now managed to get a +8 Fallen Tiki, and having a +8 Fallen Tiki, like, everything is so easy for me right now. Every Abyssal Grand Hero battle, I haven't gotten to the legendary ones yet, but every map, every chain challenge, I can just solo it with Fallen Tiki. And like, Aether, I'm basically at full health the entire time, even versus some of the harder maps. So it's definitely worth, and I think I don't know if it matters too much, but I think it should probably, if you're gonna +10 any unit, it should be a super tank to do all of the everything. And Fallen Tiki is perfect for it. And so if she ever comes up again, you might want to use her. But I think any, like, super tanky armor unit at +10 with also +1 Dragon Flower, because you get a free one, and then with Aether and Special Fighter, is gonna, like, dominate every single map. And this is my favorite file that I've ever been on, and it's definitely worth just sniping one color. And I mean, the thing is now basically all my heroes are colorless, but I think colorless is finally starting to be better than colored units. Like, Fallen Corn has the most BST of any infantry unit in the game. Fallen Tiki has 180, and like a ridiculous kit that gives her +4 every single turn if she's alone or by dragon. So I basically just smite her in with Fallen Corn, and like anyone that Tiki can't deal with, I just use Fallen Corn for. Like if someone's flanking or whatever, I just use Fallen Corn. She has even attack wave, and I can use even attack wave to like give it to Tiki and then smite her in, which she doesn't even really need. But I'm also planning on putting even defense wave, and Fallen Corn also has that panic thing, which I gave her plus HP just to use that sort of as a meme. So this banner, like, it shouldn't have worked out for me, but it really did. But you can do this with any unit that you really like if they come out on a new banner. I think any unit that's +10 is gonna just destroy maps. So that's how I would play Fire Emblem Heroes if you're coming into it. And I want to say this because you haven't missed anything. If you're a new player coming into Fire Emblem Heroes, you haven't missed anything. Like, the game is more open to you than people who have been playing on the same account for who knows how many years. Like, they're probably ahead of you in Grails and stuff like that, but like I said, the Grail units aren't even really that good. They're probably ahead of you in like characters, but how many characters do you really use? And a lot of the like squad assault and gardens and stuff like that, like you need a lot of units for that, but like those don't really matter. I think to me, like beating abyssals and getting the golden accessories is endgame, pretty much. And once you've gotten your +10, you can start working towards the other stuff and just pull on banners that you like, and you have just like a super strong file that can do everything in the game. Like 2 weeks into playing the game. So yeah, the only other advice I have is, again, to plan everything you do. And for the free units, Bolin's not really that good anymore. She has Swift Sparrow on her, but Swift Sparrow is kind of getting outdated a little bit. Like, it still has its place, but there's attack speed solo in the game now, and attack speed bond and all that stuff. So just pick for specials, because specials are the only things that you can't get at 4 stars. So any special you want, you're gonna have to get a unit to 5-star, and getting 2 Aethers is probably the most useful thing to do. But if you really like Gale Force, get Gale Force on Brave Roy, and I'd also still suggest getting Brave Veronica, because it's always useful to have a healer in the game, and always useful to have especially a healer that has easy access to Razzle Dazzle, like it's built into her kit, and that always comes in handy. And then if you do summon a lot of colorless like I did, I'm making another healer as well to help my +10, and I'm making that healer a +10 unit as well, just because I feel like it. And I chose Nana because she has the highest speed, and like if you get up to 38 speed, you're you're pretty much good for not getting doubled by most of the units in the game except for the hyperspeed units. So I think that matters more than defense and resistance, because if you think about it, if you get doubled, um, you might as well just have like half of as much defense. So yeah, that's pretty much it. See ya.